Anyway, hi. Hey, Tay.
This is definitely an honor. I appreciate you taking out the time to stop by.
Yes.
I know you got some moves to make, so we're gonna get right into it. For the viewers who may not recognize you, let them know what your name is and definitely where you're from.
My name is Melanie Camarcho. I'm from Inglewood, California. LA, same thing. Um, I was born in Chicago, but raised in LA. We moved here when I was seven or eight, something like that. And this is where I'm from. I'm a comedian. I'm on tour with Katt Williams right now, and it's been an amazing tour. This Heaven on Earth with Katt. Oh my God, amazing. This is probably my 15th major tour. I've been so blessed in this game. Um, I think 6 times with Def Comedy Jam and 5 times with Martin Lawrence, 4 with Chris Tucker. This is my third Katt Williams tour, and I toured with Maxwell as well.
That's what's up. You done named some icons for sure, for sure. Big shout out to all
Yes.
of them. Now I gotta ask you, when did you develop this passion, for comedy and making people laugh?
Well, it really kind of landed on me. I went to a comedy show to see this comedian named Robin Harris, but when I went to take my friends to see him, he had died, and I didn't know that, and the comedians that were there weren't that funny to me, and I pretty much wanted my money back. $20 was a lot of money to me. I was a mother. I was married with 2 kids, and we were just having a girls' night, and I went to the club, and so my girls was like, I said, I can do what they do, and I can do that. And my girls put $50 on the table and said, "We dare you." And I went and asked the manager, and she said, "Yeah, I'll give you 3 minutes." And I've been doing it ever since. Well, I did. I had to wait because I was going to school and working at the time, and married with 2 kids, 2 babies. And my husband was working too, and then watching the kids, and he was like, "Look, pick one. You ain't. I'm not Mr. Mom. I'm not gonna be sitting here while you chasing all your dreams. I got dreams too." I was like, "Oh." Anyway, so when school got out, I ended up doing comedy instead. I didn't go back to school. And I was working at the time. When I started doing comedy, I'm working at this place. It's now called Boeing, but back then it was Hughes Aircraft Company, and I was a technician there, and money was pretty good. But this is way better. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, you doing what you love to do, and like you say, you making
Man,
money, and then you meeting, the people you
new
mentioning,
people.
people favorite comedians in the world, and these are your peers. So you've been doing it for so many
Right.
decades. They respect you just as much as you respect them, and that's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
I remember the first time I met Eddie Murphy. I was like, "Hi, my name is," and he said, "Melanie Camarcho." I was like, "Oh my God, oh my God, stop it." He knew who I was. I was like, "Oh God, this is amazing."
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's dope. That's dope. You
That's
had
the
mentioned,
coolest when they
uh,
know who you are.
yeah, most definitely. That's that. Some people consider Eddie the goat. Now, if you know your
Oh,
name,
he's
what's up?
one of the goats for damn sure.
Definitely, definitely,
Are you
definitely.
kidding? Him and Kat to me, and Dave. I mean, the GOAT is greatest of all times. I mean, Kat's selling out arenas with just his name. It don't say Katt Williams and Friends. It don't say Katt Williams and a band and a whatever. Katt Williams, 20,000 seat arenas. Oh my God, who do that? The same thing with Dave Chappelle. He can sell out arenas with just his name alone. That to me, and then when his tickets sell out within a matter of days. I mean, 3 days and it's gone. If you don't get that ticket the day they go on sale, you won't be getting a ticket. That's for sure. Um, yeah, but it's amazing to have people that you know, really like, comedians that you're a fan of, fans of yours. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You now, I'd say you definitely paved the way. Now, coming up from LA and being a female and being black, what obstacles did you face, trying to, get your thing going?
Well, you know what? Everything just happened. I wasn't even trying to get my. So um, I was doing this comedy competition in Oakland, and the people from Bay Area, I mean, from Def Jam, Bob Sumner saw me. We had to do an audition round. So you had to audition to even be in the competition. So at the audition round, I got a standing ovation, my first and probably one of only 3 standing ovations in my 30-year career. But I don't need no standing ovation. I just keep laughing while I'm up there on that stage and I'm good to go. But yeah, so they gave me a standing ovation and the people from Def Jam was there and they saw me and they was like, "You're taking Def Jam." I didn't even know what Def Jam was. Like I said, I was married with 2 kids, so there was no HBO. That we had to pay car notes and childcare. So it wasn't in the budget, but I soon found out what Def Comedy Jam was, and I got laid off the same day I take my first Def Comedy Jam. So to me, that was God trying to tell me something. Nope, you finna do this now. What? So yes, still
Wow.
doing it. That was in 1992 when I got laid off. Were you even born, Tay?
Yeah, I was around, but I
You
mean,
was
30
around?
years, that's phenomenal. Some people don't even work a job that long, or like you say, wasn't even
Right.
born yet.
Right,
Like, but
exactly. I raised 2 kids doing this, and they both are college graduates.
yeah,
Hmm.
big shout out to them.
Yes, my daughter Jade just graduated nursing school. She is a registered nurse. Congratulations! And my daughter Jasmine has her master's degree in social work. So hey, thank you, Jazz and Jade. Okay. Mm.
That's what's up. That's what's up. They've been saying like black women is like the most educated. They getting them degrees. They taking care of their business now.
That's what I appreciate. That they ain't even trying to get into no entertainment business. They like, nah, we good. We'll just support you, mom, and we're gonna do our own thing. I was like, okay, do what you gotta do, baby. Whatever
Right.
you do, I support you. Not whatever you do, as long as it ain't on no pole or nothing, then I'm gonna support you. No. I am so blessed.
Right. Definitely. Now I got to ask you a little bit more about Def Jam because that's like the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? That's like
Man,
gladiator school. Looking back, on hindsight, like you say, you might not have knew what it was before it happened or why it was happening, but looking back,
right.
what was that experience like? And to be in the same conversation on the same stage with some of the greatest.
Well, you know what? I didn't even know who I was clueless when it came to comedy. The only person I had really seen was this guy, Robin Harris. I had somebody that took me to the Comedy Act Theater in LA. A friend of mine, one of my girlfriends, and her husband had took me one night um, to go see this comedy show, and it was Robin Harris, and he was so funny. He was walking through the audience talking about people, and some people would go. A lady went up to use the bathroom, and he was up there. I sure wish I was a toilet seat, and then just so freaking funny that I had to take my husband to see. So I did, and he enjoyed it too. So then I had got some kind of promotion at work, and then we went back to see him again, and that's when he had passed. And uh, so after that, I ended up with the Def Jam. As soon as I came off stage with that Def Comedy Jam, which I had never been to New York before, and going to New York for a Def Jam was like going to the prom because once you get off the plane, there's a limo picking you up, taking you to this 5-star hotel. It was just like, what's happening? And it was overwhelming. I was like, wow. And then I'm terrified. I've never been on a big stage before. I saw Showtime at the Apollo, how they boo people in New York. So I'm terrified. I'm backstage shaking. And so production was just the coolest people. They was like, you got this, you can do it, you can do it. And I went out there and ended up having a pretty good set. And as soon as I came off, Bob Sumner was like, you're on tour. I'm on tour. What does that mean? So I toured with Def Jam for probably 6 years, off and on, because whenever I wasn't touring with somebody else, I was back with the Def Jam. I was touring with Chris Tucker and Martin at the same time one time. On the dates I was off with Martin, I was touring with Chris, and it was just, and we fly in private. and I'm the only girl. Oh my God. Except for the one with Katt. With Katt, it was me and Lunell, but we flying private and it was, are you kidding me? I'm on a private plane. No TSA, none of that. I ain't got to check no bag. Oh my God. What a wonderful life. All I
Yeah,
can say. I
that's
ain't rich and none of that, but the memories I have are richer than all the money. So I'm good.
yeah. I appreciate you sharing them because, like you say, Katt Williams, I think was that last year he did that interview. He was the number one comedian. Then Martin and Chris Tucker, they was at the top of their game back then. They still on their
Right?
game, but you know what I'm saying. You touring with
Everybody
the
be at
best
the
of the
top at
best.
one time. Right.
Yeah. So that's
But they
amazing.
were, because I was on tour with Chris when he was at the top of his game, and we were doing theaters. Katt's the only one doing arenas. You know what? I take that back. A couple years ago, when Kevin was at his height, he was doing arenas as well. He was Kevin Hart and the Paper Cup Boys, but he didn't advertise the Paper Cup Boys. He just was Kevin Hart, you know, just like Katt's doing. It's just Kevin Hart. I mean, it's just Katt Williams.
Yeah. Now what?
Yep,
Now I
yep,
was
yep.
gonna ask you, what is it like? Touring with those guys because a lot of times as fans we just get to see the stage and performance, but we could just only
Right.
imagine it's a lot of fun times, a lot of laughs, a lot of
A lot of
pranks
fun, a
and
lot of
bloopers.
laughs. Oh,
Yeah.
we be backstage clowning each other. Ah, I saw you flub that joke. You think the audience didn't see, but we saw that. We back there cracking up, talking about each other, having a good time, giving them tags to the joke. You know what you should have said? Let me to give you that. Oh, hell yeah, that'll work. That'll work. I'm doing that tomorrow. So we back there, just having fun, being comedians. It's like traveling with my family. They make sure they look out for me, you know, and we have fun.
That's
And I love
definitely a
it.
plus, getting to travel
Yes. Right.
different
They
places,
all
different
respect
cities.
me. You know,
hmm Let me see now on that. Now I want to ask you a little bit about the acting side. Now you writing and directing movies too, right?
you better know it. I'm
Yeah.
almost finished with my second film as we speak. I probably by Friday I should be done. I'm praying. Yep. So yeah, I wrote and directed my first film, which was called Boosters LA. It's streaming on Tubi right now. I took my money, which I suggest no one to ever do. I took all my money and I borrowed some money from a friend of mine. Well, he invested in me and I love him to death, Sam Watson, who is Al Heyman, who is like the greatest promoter ever. Anybody that knows anything about entertainment knows who Al Heyman is because he put the biggest concerts on from like the 90s, early 90s through the probably 80s. I jumped on board in the 90s all the way to the 2000s. He put on some big shows and he also manages Floyd Mayweather. So that was just amazing that he believed in me enough to give me some money on it. And I even put him in it. He's in the film too. But I ended up calling all my comedian friends because this was ultra low budget SAG. So the lowest pay on the pay grade it was. And I just needed like a day or two. So it's a lot of cameos. Everybody got a scene. There's Sherry Shepherd, who has her talk show on now. Sherry's in it. um, Kim Whitley, oh God, Coco Brown, um, the funny lady of comedy, her name is Yvette. Oh, she's one of my main boosters. Tiffany Haddish is one of my boosters. Um, I got Eric Blake, Boogie B, John Witherspoon, AJ Johnson, Michelet. Oh, Earthquake. Oh, the list goes on and on. I'm trying not to forget anybody. Please don't let me forget. But I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. But it's a lot of comics and they're all funny in this film. So yeah, I did that. It was my first project and I'm working on number two.
Wow, that sounds like a grand slam. You coming out the gate, you know what I'm saying, with the heat. Now I can ask you this. Let me see. What's the difference like, or is it a difference creatively? Like you used to being on the stage and kind of writing in that aspect. Is it different trying to write like a funny movie?
Yeah, they're different. So I suggest anybody trying to do it, you got to download this app or purchase this app called Final Draft, which will put your thoughts in movie form. So you write what you're thinking and it'll put it in format for you. So it depends on what you're writing. If you're writing a comedy, a drama, action, whatever you choose to write. I'm doing a comedy action right this next one too. But Boosters was also an action comedy because they're boosting. They running through malls and stealing shit. It's about stealing. But people in my movie go to jail. I'm not glorifying boosting in any means. I can't stand boosters, matter of fact, because now these boosters got everything at CVS, Walmart, and fucking Walgreens locked up. I gotta wait 10 minutes for somebody to unlock the damn toothpaste. It's ridiculous. Because these boosters going in there stealing the essentials. Do they have that in your city? Do you ever go to the store to get something and it's locked up?
Yeah, I'm from Cleveland, so I see it a lot. You got to press the red button for assistance. It's kind of embarrassing sometimes, depending
Right.
on what you're trying to get.
And forever. Pray to God you don't need condoms. We need someone on the condom case, or if you got some kind of, for the girls, some kind of yeast infection, that would get embarrassing. Oh my God. I'm just trying to get toilet paper and soap powder, and I got to push. What is going on? So, yeah, I'm not glorifying at all, but I wanted to do a film that no one has really done a film about. Nobody ever, they do films about boosting cars and jewelry, but nobody did the clothes. And back in the day when crack was out there like that, they had houses set up look like Macy's and on the inside, half of whatever's on the tag. That's what's a big sign on the door. I'm like, wow, let's go shopping. So I said, let's do a movie because that's funny as hell to me. And then people were hitting me up. Oh God, I remember them days. There was this lady down the street from me. And so I just wanted something relatable that people could understand.
Yeah, most definitely, definitely. And keep me updated on the next one. I don't know, you might need an extra or something.
Oh yeah, right. Where you at?
I'm currently in Nashville right now, but I fly
Oh,
out there wherever
Nashville.
y'all at. If you in
Oh,
New
so you
York,
can get there. Don't worry. I'll get there. The Greyhound go everywhere.
exactly, exactly.
Ah,
I
well, the
really,
thing about this next film is I don't even know if I'm in it. Someone has purchased it from me. So um, they saw what I did already and they was like, yeah, we want it. And I said, okay, let me just I want to flip a couple of things and then I bring it right back to you. So it's pretty much
yeah.
sold. So that's
Okay.
what I'm doing. I'm selling the next ones. I hope to be part. Well, I still want to do Boosters LA, I mean Boosters Atlanta and New York. That is my goal. I wanted to make it a trilogy because everybody does it different in their cities. So this is how we do it in LA. How y'all do it? So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna grab all the Atlanta comics. I would go to the stores and talk to the security and ask them, tell me your craziest story about somebody coming in here stealing. And they would tell me, I mean, there was the scenes they told me I put them. I had one of the ladies was sticking clothes under her wig in the scene. And then I had her putting like a pot roast in her girdle. So she in her panties, like, so she got to go home and wash this. It's like, shit's hilarious. So, the craziest stories from the security, and I would just put that into the film.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I look forward to seeing them too because the people do things differently in different cities. You go to New York, I can't even imagine how crazy it would be, how chaotic it
Right.
would be.
And then
Yeah,
how they sell it,
yeah,
they was bringing it to me, and there was me and bruh man from the fifth floor was my competition. So between the both of us, they was trying to, see where they could get the best deal at. And so that's the way we do. Some people they do now. They selling it on Craigslist. I mean, not on TikTok. After they done robbed us, they've been running in these stores and just grabbing all the shit and running out. I'm gonna show that. They even backing cars into the store window, breaking the window and grabbing everything they can and driving. It's just crazy what these people doing, it's different.
it
So I want
is.
to put all that in there.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see. Now I wanted to ask you. Now you was in a couple shows and movies. Now let me see. You was in you was in First Sunday with Ice Cube.
Right. And my
Now, what
scene
was
was
that
with
like?
Cube and Tracy Morgan. It was fun. It was cool because I've been wanting to be in an Ice Cube movie, and he ain't never called me. And this wasn't his movie. This was David Talbert's movie, who was a good friend of mine. And he put me in the movie. And then I did a scene with him and Tracy Morgan. I was the waitress. So that ended up being cute and fun. I had a good time. Yes, I got every film I did. I got it was a hookup type of thing. It wasn't like I auditioned. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. Hair show. Monique's brother was like, "Hey, come on, I got this scene for you." I'm like, "What? Okay, let's do it." Three Strikes, my attorney, and DJ Pooh, who was the director of that film or the producer of that film, and also of Friday. He and I shared the same attorney. So we had ate lunch one day and she was like, "Come on, let's go over here to the set of this movie." And everybody on the set knew me but him. And I didn't know who he was, but he was like, "Can you come back tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yes, I can." And I ended up doing a scene with David Allen Greer, and they loved that scene in the film. They ghettoed
Yeah,
me up. They put gold teeth and gold hair. I was like, "Why I gotta look like this? Y'all ain't right." No, we wanted to look hood. I can look hood without gold teeth. Stop it.
yeah, yeah. Big shout out to DJ Pooh. He definitely don't get the flowers he deserved, but that police scene,
Right.
that police station scene, you killed it. You killed it. That's one of
Yes.
my favorite scenes in that movie. That's a classic too.
And DJ Pooh also was with the Snoop Dogg fucking around comedy show on Netflix. It's still there, and he's the DJ on that show. And it was me and Kat, Mike Epps, Donnell Rollins, D. Ray, and Guy Torrey, and I was the only lady. And that was so fun. That was cool because at the time I was doing stuff for Snoop, with private parties, hosting his private parties, and I saw that he was doing something for Netflix. I should call Snoop, please, 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 please. And I don't know if I can do it. And the next thing you know, I'm getting a call. Okay, you can do it. What? Hell yeah! Look at God, won't he do it? So, yep, that was a blessing right there.
Yeah, yeah, that's huge. Snoop Dogg. He probably Snoop do every. He could do comedy. He could do
Snoop,
gangster. He could do
acting,
rap.
everything.
He probably the
Every
most
football
versatile.
coach, you name it, daddy. And he
Yes.
do it all good too. He do it all well. You should see if you knew his kids. He got the best kids. They are so sweet and well mannered. Oh my God. Him and Boss Lady did a damn good job. You'd think them kids would be spoiled, rotten, acting all because they daddy was a star before they was even born. So some of them rich kids be like, not Snoops. They are all grounded. They did an excellent job with them kids. I was like, wow. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Don't you ma'am me no more, boy. I'm auntie. No, just kidding.
Right. Big shout out to Snoop. Let me see. You did a couple TV shows too. If it's okay, I asked you about. You did Jamie Foxx. Everybody Hate Chris. What was it like? It's TV versus film. Was it similar or kind of different?
Well, you know what? The TV first one was Jamie Foxx, and that was fun. I got to do that. When I did the Everybody Hates Chris, it didn't even air. And I kind of figured because it was this in the scene, I was offering this kid cigarettes. And I'm like, they gonna put this on TV? It was like I didn't have nothing for trick or treat, so I'm trying to give him cigarettes or some shit like that. And I didn't think it would pass network. But I had my whole family sitting there waiting to watch it, and it came and went, and there was no me. I'm like, but that's okay. I, I'm on a TV show right now, so you have to go to this network called Impact TV. It is a Black-owned network. It is free. All you got to do is download impacttv.com, and it'll ask you your zip code. And when a matter of fact, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see how to get on board with Impact TV. But it's impacttv.com, and the name of the show is called Highly Favored. And Michael Collier, the comedian Michael Collier, is the star of the show, and he's the pastor of the church. Kiki Shepherd is his wife. Chico, oh, I don't know what Chico's last name is, but there's this actor named Chico. He's one of the sons, and I'm one of his wife's friends at church. So it's a hilarious comedy series, and it's on Impact TV right now. So make sure you tune in and pull up and watch Highly Favored on impacttv.com. And follow me at Melanie Camarcho. It's Co March. You know you're marching. Co March. Oh, that's how you spell my name. It's not Spanish. Everybody thinks it's Camacho. Nope. I like Mexicans. We're not getting married or anything like that. We ain't gonna even kiss or do it. But y'all some cool people. I need a black man in my life. So Mr. Comarcho is a brother. Okay,
Okay.
now we cleared that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I wasn't hip to that Impact TV. You know, you always looking for something new and fresh. I'm definitely
Something new.
support that. Check it out.
It's free
Mhm.
like Tubi.
Okay.
Impact TV. And there are a lot of other shows that are really great black shows on that network. I mean, they're doing a good job. I mean, especially if you love God, there's a lot of like motivational shows on there for you. If you know God or you love God. If you know God, you love God. So that's pretty goes hand in
Yeah,
hand pretty much.
definitely, definitely. Okay, we about 26 minutes in. I was gonna ask you maybe one more question.
All
You know,
right.
as you being a comedian, an artist, and you've been doing this for a few decades now, what are your thoughts on cancel culture? Should an artist be able to express themselves in any way they feel, or do you feel like should it be certain things where you say, okay, we're not gonna talk about that, or use that?
For
what's your
me it is. There's things I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about religion. I don't really like talking about people who can't be there and defend themselves if it's going to be in a negative light. When I'm talking about people, it's usually to uplift that person, not to demean them in any type of way. So I I do feel that people have a right to their own opinion, but everything don't need to be put on social media. That's how I feel about
Yeah, yeah. And I can ask you one more real quick one about that.
that. Uh-huh.
Like you came in the game, like you say, 30 years and technology is changing faster and faster. We got AI, we got social media now, and you got even comedians that could just hop on and do skits or tell jokes.
Right.
Has it been a difficult transition for you, or has it been something that's been helpful to you? And what's your perspective on all of that?
Well, I say to whatever makes you, if you can make some money doing sketches and skits on Instagram, I say go for it. Everybody ain't built for that. I don't do it. And I'm still getting paid doing stand-up comedy. So, it's good on the internet. But what I say to everybody that's out there doing that on the internet, if you're going to be doing these comedy clubs, you need to grab on one of these young comics, get somebody to help you write some material because you can't go to these comedy clubs doing sketches. You need jokes. They'll come and pack it out for you. Just because you got a million followers don't mean they're gonna follow you to the club. They'll come try to support you. And if they find out you don't have no jokes, they won't be back. It's not cheap. Everything's so expensive nowadays. People can't be affording to go pay, $30 to see a comic that ain't even funny. And that's just to get in. Then you got a 2 drink minimum and other stuff. So, if your girl with you, she gonna want a t-shirt or some shit. So you got $150 and you want whoever there to be memorable. You want to get a picture, that's another 20. So it's expensive going out. So you want to make sure that whoever you going to see is going to be funny. Now, even some of the big names, I mean, everybody has a off day. Everybody except me. No, I'm just kidding. But most people, you sometimes you just ain't the show you could have had. So, you know, oh, he wasn't that funny that night. That was that night. You don't know what happened because no matter what happens, we got to get up on that stage and do our job. So, like a couple of weeks ago, my father died, and I'm on tour, and my family don't want to tell me because I'm on tour. They want to wait till Sunday. He died probably Thursday, so they didn't want to tell me till I got home on Monday. But my cousin they called and told me on Friday that he died. But that didn't. I just put it out of my mind. I said, no, I'm not going to even think about that until Monday. And that's when I got the breakdown on Monday. But the good thing was I had just went to go visit him because his wife was like, I think you need to come see your dad. And so my sister and I jumped on that plane and went to go hang out with my dad. And like a week or two later, he was gone. So you don't know what that comic done went through before he came up on that stage, you know. So back in them days, back in the 90s, I had just started my period and I gotta go up on this stage all cramping and shit. So and you don't know what these people that went through before they came up on the stage. White might have said, I want a divorce just before, or you got a child support, people waiting for you. You don't know what nobody's story. So, you know, it is what it is. We do the best we can do with what we got.
Yeah, that's true indeed. My condolences to you, Queen. Continue to stay
Thank you.
strong, and I appreciate you sharing that because we take it for granted a lot of time. Like you say, we getting ready and prepared for this one night, but we
Right.
don't take into consideration that you are human. You know, we stressed
Right.
out, we mad at this one, we mad at that one. Y'all going through the same thing. You know,
Right. Same thing you going through. Oh man, if I don't do this show tonight, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my rent. Sometimes it's show to pay a rent. Unless you book a tour, you out there hustling and grinding and trying to get paid. So
yeah,
the
yeah, you
struggle is
going.
real.
You going to work unless you just wealthy, you just got hundreds and millions. You know, you gotta
Right.
keep
And it
it.
ain't too many of them. You got like Dave Chappelle, Katt Williams, and who else? Eddie Murphy. I can count five of them. Well, that ain't gotta work if they don't want to.
Yeah, and they still grinding, so it's
And they
motivation.
still
You
out
know.
there.
hmm That's cool. That's cool. So before we get up out of here, for the viewers, if they want to, keep up with what you're doing, where you're touring next, and want to check out some of your, previous work, what's the best way for them to do that? Website, social media.
Hey, you got to go to social media to catch up to me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's Melanie Camarcho on every single one of those platforms. Um, I'll be in DC on the 13th at the MGM Grand on the 13th of June. Friday the 13th. I was like, oh Lord, Friday the 13th, and MGM Grand in DC. I mean, in DC. And then on the 19th, I'll be in Fort Worth at Dickies Arena doing the Juneteenth celebration with Nephew Tommy's hosting, uh, DL, Earthquake, me, Bubba Dub, and Danielle Rollins, and somebody else. Yep, all of us gonna be on there, and and then I'll be back with Katt on. We just on a break. The tour ain't over. We got a couple of days. We got a date in June, and one in July, and then we off until September because Katt's making movies. He's a movie star too, so he's doing films, and he bought a studio. So he bought Fort McClellan Air Force Base and turned it into a movie studio like Tyler Perry did. So
That's what's up.
shooting films.
I really look forward to seeing what you're gonna do with that. That's amazing. But thank
Yeah.
you again. I really appreciate you taking out the time to stop by. Like you say, you got all these moves to make, and I appreciate the work that you have done, and I look forward to the work that you have coming in the future.
Thank you. Keep supporting me, you guys.
Mhm.
Just keep on showing the sister love like you've been doing. I appreciate and love every one of you. Take care, Tay.
All right, take care and be safe out there.
Okay, bye.
Bye.